Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Bhagwan ki. So I'll follow whatever is on the screen. So who is controlling the screen? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupaya Krishna Vishnu Tulsi Bhaktivedanta Swami Nami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Pacharini Vishweshwara. We are reading from second canto, chapter 5, verse number 1 to 16, but the focus verse is number 15. So, we'll just do the focus verse first, and then we'll go over all the other verses. Can it be brought on the screen, Prabhuji? Verse number 15. 15. Yeah, we'll recite the verse. para Veda, Deva Narayanangaja, Narayana Paraloka, Narayana Paramakha. You want to recite? Narayana Paraveda, Deva Narayanangaja, Narayana Paraveda, Deva Narayanangaja, Narayana Paraloka, Narayana Paramakha, Narayana Paraveda, Deva Narayanangaja, Narayana Paraloka, Narayana Paramakha. Okay, let's go to synonyms. Narayana Paraveda, Deva Narayanangaja, Narayana Paraloka, Narayana Paramakha. Synonyms, please. Narayana Paraveda, Deva Narayanangaja, Narayana Paraloka, Narayana Paramakha. Anybody else? Okay. Narayana, the Supreme Lord. Parah is the cause and is meant for. Vedah, knowledge. Devah, the demigods. Narayana, the Supreme Lord. Angajah, assisting hands. Narayana, the personality of Godhead. Parah, for the sake of. Loka, the planets. Narayana, the Supreme Lord. Parah, just to please Him. Makha, all sacrifices. Translation: the Vedic literatures are made by and are meant for the Supreme Lord. The demigods are also meant for serving the Lord as parts of His body. The different planets are also meant for the sake of the Lord, and the different sacrifices are performed just to please Him. Can I get some help in reading the purport?
According to the Vedanta Sutras, Shastra Yonitvat, the Supreme Lord, is the author of all revealed scriptures, and all revealed scriptures are for knowing the Supreme Lord. Veda means knowledge that leads to the Lord. The Vedas are made just to revive the forgotten consciousness of the conditioned souls, and any literature not meant for reviving God consciousness is rejected at once by the Narayana para devotees. Such deluding books of knowledge, not having Narayan as their aim, are not at all knowledge, but are the playgrounds for crows who are interested in the rejected refuse of the world. Any book of knowledge, science, or art must lead to the knowledge of Narayan, otherwise it must be rejected. That is the way of advancement of knowledge. The supreme worshipable deity is Narayan. The demigods are recommended secondarily for worship in relation to Narayan, because the demigods are assisting hands in the management of the universal affairs. As the officers of a kingdom are respected due to their relation to the king, the demigods are worshipped due to their relation to the Lord. Without the Lord's relation, worship of the demigods is unauthorized. Avidhi purvakam. Just as it is improper to water the leaves and branches of a tree without watering its root. Therefore the demigods are also dependent on Narayan, The lokas, or different planets, are attractive because they have different varieties of life and bliss, partially representing the Sachit Ananda Vigraha. Everyone wants the eternal life of bliss and knowledge. In the material world, such an eternal life of bliss and knowledge is progressively realized in the upper planets, but after reaching there, one is inclined to achieve further progress along the path back to Godhead. Duration of life with a proportionate quantity of bliss and knowledge may be increased from one planet to another. One can increase the duration of life to thousands and hundreds of thousands of years in different planets, but nowhere is there eternal life. But one who can reach the highest planet, that of Brahma, can aspire to reach the planets in the spiritual sky, where life is eternal. Therefore, the progressive journey from one planet to another culminates in reaching the supreme planet of the Lord, Madham, where the life is eternal and full of bliss and knowledge. All different kinds of sacrifice are performed just to satisfy Lord Narayan, with the view to reach him. And the best sacrifice recommended in this age of Kali is Sankirtan Yagya, the mainstay of the devotional service of a Narayan Para devotee.
Okay. So to set the context, we are in the 5th chapter. We will be going over the first 14 verses quickly to understand. Until 20? Yeah, sure. Yeah, 1 to 20 is what we'll cover today. So this is a dialogue going on between, anybody knows who is talking to whom? Lord Brahma is speaking to Narada. So anybody knows that this whole book is in the form of dialogues, different conversations are going on, which is the original conversation from where this book starts. You are speaking from the chronological point of view, yes, that's right, that's the right answer. But from the book's context, who are the personalities who are talking in the beginning of the book? Yes. Shaunaka Rishi, who is the heading all the sages, is asking question to Suta Goswami, and Suta Goswami is giving answers to his questions. But when he is answering the questions of Shaunaka Rishi, he is not manufacturing his answers. He is referencing the descriptions he has heard from his guru, Sukdev Goswami, who was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to Parishit Maharaj. Right? Parishit Maharaj is the grandson of Arjuna. So that is the original conversation of Srimad Bhagavatam from this book's perspective. And in that, Parishit Maharaj is asking various questions. In the chapter before the 4th chapter, Parishit Maharaj is asking so many questions to Sukdev Goswami, primarily about how this material creation is brought about by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how Lord does this wonderful creation, maintains it and annihilates it, how all these things are arranged. So he asked those questions to the so how Supreme Lord arranges for this whole material creation, maintenance and destruction, and in answer to that, Sukdev Goswami also does not manufacture his own answer. He is reciting another previous conversation that happened between Brahmaji and Narad Muni. So Brahmaji and Narad Muni are the original gurus of our parampara system. So we receive knowledge from the proper disciplic succession from Guru's parampara system, and that knowledge is authentic. So this is Lord Krishna, as Prabhuji said, the student Prabhuji said, that originally the knowledge was spoken by Lord Krishna to Brahma, and then Brahma is speaking the knowledge to Narada, and like this knowledge descends down in the disciplic succession and is perfectly protected, and this original knowledge is available to us from these books. So this is the context, and when Sukdev Goswami is answering, he is saying that similar questions were asked by Narad Muni to his father, Brahmaji, and let me relate that discussion, and this will cover all the answers. So we will quickly go over the initial verses, what questions Narad Muni is asking to Brahmaji. Is it possible to go to the verses? Text 1, Sri Narad Muni, I think I can take help. It will be interactive that way. Someone can read text 1, please.
Sri Narada Muni asked Brahmaji, O chief amongst the demigods, O firstborn living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the supersoul.
Let's read one more. Next verse.
My dear Father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest world. What is its background? How is it created? How is it conserved? And under whose control is all this being done?
Yeah. So in the purport of these verses, Srila Prabhupada explains that that's the right way to receive knowledge, not based on our directive process, but inductive process, where we inquire from the authority, the Shabda Praman. That's the highest authority. And the real question is to understand the cause behind everything and not to explain how things are working out. That is not the real science, which the modern science is all focused on the how the different mechanics are working, but why things are there, who created all this, that's the ultimate question, and Narad Muni is asking that question to Brahmaji. Let's go to the text number 3.
My dear Father, all this is known to you scientifically because whatever was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, or whatever is being created at present, as well as everything within the universe, is within your grip, just like a walnut.
Here, since Brahmaji is the original living entity in this material universe, when this universe was created, he is the first born living entity. So anybody born after him will only see up to him as the most senior person. So naturally, Narad Muni is saying that you seems to be the supreme authority, supreme controller. So that's natural for Narad Muni to claim like that. Let's see the next verse, text number 4.
My dear Father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with the material elements by your personal energy?
So here, so Narad Muni has also heard from his father, as will be explained in the 7th text coming up. He has heard that Brahmaji, in the beginning of his life, he did a great austerity for many, many thousands of years. And when he did that tapasya, that austerity, then he gained the knowledge to create this material universe. So that raises doubt in the mind of Narad Muni that if you are also depending on somebody to gain knowledge, who is that supreme authority? So here, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that when we have a guru guiding us, then we should not accept that Guru as a Supreme Lord, because that's all we know. That's the Guru is the only Supreme Authority we see factually. So we should not just get misled into thinking that Guru is the Supreme Lord himself. We should see that Guru is also worshipping Supreme Lord. Then we should understand Guru's position correctly. That's what Narad Muni is teaching, that he is not, although it's easy to get misled to assume Brahmaji to be Supreme, but he is asking question that in whose name you were doing austerities, whose worship you were doing when you were doing those tapasya. So Narad Muni is setting the right example here. Text number 5, please.
As the spider very easily creates the network of its cobweb and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others, so also you yourself, by employment of your self-sufficient energy, create without any other's help.
We'll do one more verse, they're similar.
Whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics, and features of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal, or temporary, is not created from any other source other than that of your Lordship, thou so great.
Yes. So again, he is, based on his observation, it seems that Brahmaji is creating everything based on his own energy, like all the planetary systems and all the different bodily forms of living entities. There are 8.4 million species of life, so Brahmaji created all the different bodies. So all these created entities are done by Brahma, and it appears that he is doing based on his own energy. And Narad Muni gives the example of self-sufficiency of the spider. Like spider creates this web, but spider does not use an ingredient outside its body, everything is created by its own saliva. Right? So similarly, it appears that Brahmaji is not using anything assistance from outside himself, but creating everything by himself. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport of this verse that the better example of self-sufficiency is sun. So sun does not need anything else, is self-sufficient to give all the heat and light, and other luminaries are depending on the sun for heat and light, and they reflect the light of sun. In the following verse, yeah, all the Nam, Rupa, Guna, all the different entities, all the different things created, different names, looks like everything is created by Brahma. Brahmaji is aware of everything, and it's such a great work he has done. But now in the text number 7, Narad Muni will again express his doubt. Let's read text number 7.
Yet we are moved to wonder about the existence of someone more powerful than you when we think of your great austerities and perfect discipline, although your good self is so powerful in the matter of creation.
And read one more, please.
My dear Father, you know everything, and you are the controller of all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me, so that I may be able to understand it as your student.
So here Narad Muni is submitting his questions very submissively and inquiring perfectly to Brahmaji. And he is expressing his wonder. It's natural that how is it that you are so great, you're doing this entire creation, and still you are worshipping somebody else, that Narad Muni has no experience of. So similar questions was asked by Arjuna to Lord Krishna, but it was in different way. It was the reciprocal of this. When Krishna said to Arjuna that I instructed this great knowledge to the sun god, evam vyavasate yogam proktavanam avayam, that long ago, whatever knowledge I am giving you today is spoken by me to sun god many millions of years ago. And then Arjuna is bewildered by that question. So here Arjuna was assuming Krishna to be his friend, who is contemporary to him. And how is it that he could have spoken this knowledge to the sun god who is senior to Krishna by birth, by so many millions of years ago? So he is also asking that question very submissively to Krishna. So asking questions is very important. It's a sign of intelligence. If you don't ask questions, then you are not clarifying your doubts. But it has to be done very submissively, not in a challenging spirit. We should understand that we don't understand everything, and there is a scope of getting more clarification and more knowledge. So till verse number 8, Narad Muni finishes asking all the questions, and verse number 9, Brahmaji will start answering the questions. So let's read Brahmaji's answer. Verse number 9.
Read from 9. Lord Brahma said, my dear boy Narad, being merciful to all, including me, you have asked all these questions because I have been inspired to see into the process of the Almighty Personality of Godhead.
So here, Brahmaji's reaction is, he is very happy to hear these questions. He is saying that being merciful for all, you have asked all these questions because. So this is the nature of devotees of the Lord. When they are asked questions about the Lord, they become very happy. We have seen this pattern in this entire book of Bhagavatam. In the very beginning, when Saunaka Rishi is asking questions to Suta Goswami, when Suta Goswami is responding, what is that verse that Suta Goswami said? Bhavat Vir Loka Mangalam Yatada Krishna Samkrishno Inatma Suntasiti. That he is saying that you ask very good questions because these questions pertain to the descriptions of Lord Krishna. And whenever any questions are asked about Lord Krishna, those topics will be for the benefit of all the living entities. Similarly, when Parishad Maharaj asked question to Sukdev Goswami about what is the duty of mankind at the time of death or throughout the life, then he also says that Varya Neshate Krishna, that your questions are very wonderful because they will be for the benefit of all the people. And here Brahmaji is also giving the same answer, that you ask very nice question because it gives me a chance to describe about the Supreme Lord, and those descriptions about Supreme Lord will be beneficial for everybody to hear. So this is a common nature of all the devotees, that when they get an opportunity to speak about Lord, they become very jubilant, very happy. And this is the spirit of missionary activities. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that the missionary activities is all about speaking about Lord to the people in general, that will bring about revolution in the life of people. Let's read verse number 10.
Text 10. Whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities.
Yes. So Brahmaji acknowledges that yes, it is easy to be bewildered in thinking that I am the Supreme, because he's indeed doing the wonderful activities, very powerful activities. So actually, from the perspective of demigods, we are like ants. We are very, very small and insignificant, and we do not have the capability to comprehend their powers, their opulence. That in the mathematics, we have this logarithmic scale, like things are 10 times more, and then another 100 is 10 times more than 1, and 1,000 is further 10 times more. So when things go that huge in the proportions, then it becomes, then we are not able to distinguish between them. When we see from here, the different planets, the moon, the sun, they all look similar size to us when we see from here. But when we actually go out in the outer space and then experience the real sizes, then we will be able to differentiate between the sizes of different bodies, right? But looking from distance, they all look great, they all look very similar, and then for the common people with poor fund of knowledge, it's very easy to get bewildered and get confused to believe that, okay, they are all supreme, right? So for a common, so the body of demigods is so opulent that there is no miseries of hunger, thirst, of anything. So they can live, they can eat as much as they want, whatever they want they can do. There is no bodily pain affecting them. So there is so much opulence, but that is just one planetary system above us. So what to speak of Janaloka, Maharloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. So they are all further advanced planetary systems, and these people are so much more powerful. Their life is so much longer, so much more opulence. So it's very difficult for us to comprehend that who is supreme, unless we hear from the authentic sources, from the literature. So, like Lord Ganesha, these different demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, Lord Shiva, they all appear so powerful and so great from the common man's perspective. And that's what Brahmaji is explaining, that yes, it's very easy to get confused into believing that I am supreme. Let's see what Brahmaji then further instructs and clarifies this. Text number 11.
I create after the Lord's creation by his personal effulgence, known as the Brahmajyoti. Just as when the sun manifests its fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets, and the twinkling stars also manifest their brightness.
So then Brahmaji gives the clarification here that I am not the primary creator. It may seem that I am the one who is creating, but the whole creation is brought about by the Brahmajyoti of the Lord. He also writes this in his Brahma Samhita, Jasya Prabha Pravato Jagadanda Kotim Kotiso Shesha Vishadati Vibhuti Bhinnam, that all these planetary systems, they are brought about by the Brahmajyoti of the Lord. And what is Brahmajyoti? Brahmajyoti is nothing but the personal bodily, the effulgence from the body of the Lord. That's Brahmajyoti. Anybody knows in Bhagavad Gita where Lord Krishna establishes this fact? That Brahmajyoti is the Lord Krishna is the basis of Brahmajyoti. Yes, Brahmanohi Pratishtaham. That he says that I am the basis of Brahmajyoti. And Brahmajyoti is the basis of all the creations. And Brahmaji is saying that I am the creator after Lord's creation. So there is a Sarga and there is a Visarga. So the creation is of two kinds. Sarga is a creation of all the ingredients of the material existence. So what are the ingredients of material existence? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. But before that, there are subtle ingredients. The false ego. The first ingredient is this false ego, the material misconception that I am the product of this material world. Right? I am not a spiritual spark, but I am the matter. That's a false ego. Or in more esoteric way, I am the enjoyer. That's a real false ego. I am not servant of God, but I am an independent enjoyer. So that conception is created first. Then from there, material intelligence and material mind is created, and these ingredients are created, and this make up the different bodies where the living entity is entrapped. So all this ingredient creation is the primary creation, and then Brahmaji, what he does, he just combines these ingredients to create different kinds of planets and different kinds of bodies in which living entities can reside, sthanam. So he just creates different planets. So that's the Brahma's creation. It's a secondary creation, Visarga. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that it is like a gardener. So Brahmaji creates like a gardener. So for a child, he will see that gardener is doing something in a place and then a plant is coming out. So for the child it appears that the gardener is creating the plant. But actually the seeds are available and he is doing the watering process. So Brahmaji's creation is like the watering process, which is bringing about the potency of the seeds and manifesting it. The potency of the seed is already created by the Lord. So that is Krishna says, I am seed giving father, right, in the 14th chapter. So that's the primary creation is by Krishna, who gives all the seeds, all the ingredients for this material universe to be created, and Brahmaji is putting them together, doing the watering process and manifesting the potency of the Lord himself, which is potency of Brahmajyoti. So that's what Brahmaji is honestly acknowledging it. So how does Krishna create? Prabhupada says, Krishna doesn't create like a blacksmith that who is working hard and making his tools. Krishna creates naturally, svabhavaki jnana balam kriyacha. Parasa shakti vividevi suruyate. That Krishna is filled with so much multifarious energies. And all these energies are subservient to Krishna. And they are acting perfectly in the control of Krishna. Krishna is simply doing the wish. Let this happen. And it happens perfectly. Simply by his will. So he is not working hard to do all the creation. Simply he is just willing and things are happening. So that's the position of Krishna. Okay, let's read the text number 12. We can read 12, 13 together.
I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna, Vasudev, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the supreme controller.
And one more.
The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position, but those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thoughts of, it is I and it is mine.
Yeah. So here Brahmaji is saying, first he acknowledges that yes, it's easy to get misled to think that I am the supreme, but I am not the supreme, I am not the main creator, I am secondary creator working under the direction of the Lord. And then he's saying about the people who are deluded, that why are they deluded? So he's saying, first he's saying that people think I to be supreme because they're deluded by the maya of the Lord, by the illusory energy of the Lord. And why they are deluded by the illusory energy, that answer is given in the text number 13. Brahmaji is saying the illusory energy of the Lord is ashamed of her position and it cannot take precedent, cannot act in front of the Lord. What is that? Jaha Krishna tahe nahi, Maya adhikar. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya andhikar, right? Maya hai andhikar. That illusion energy is like darkness, Krishna is like sun. Where there is sun, there cannot be darkness. So the same concept here, illusion energy of the Lord is very subservient to Lord Krishna and very ashamed of her position because she is doing this thankless task of keeping living entities illusioned, like misled from the Lord. But why she is doing this, to whom she is doing this? Those who are not in front of the Lord. Those living entities who choose not to be in front of the Lord, they are getting misled. Those who want to turn away from the Lord, they are being misled by the Maya. But if there is a living entity who wants to surrender to Lord and who wants to be in front of Lord, who want to relate to Lord, Maya will not act on that person. And Lord Krishna speaks about these concepts in the Bhagavad Gita also. He says two kinds of energies Krishna says he possesses. Devi isa gunmayi, mam maya durattaya. That my energy, material energy, is Gunmayi is consisting of 3 modes of material nature, and through the 3 modes is controlling all the living entities and making them behave according to the templates of these different modes. Some people are very nice in mode of goodness, some people are very passionate, working towards for the sense gratification. Some people are maddened, illusioned, lazy, they're in mode of darkness. So they are all acting in different modes in these different templates. And material energy is like a rope, controls the puppet, is controlling all the living entities. That's one energy of the Lord. And the other energy is Mahatmanustu Mam Partha Devam Prakritam Ashrita. That those who are my devotees, those who are Mahatmanas, those who are great souls, they take shelter of my Devi Prakriti, which is the internal energy of the Lord, Yoga Maya. So Mahamaya is the external energy of the Lord, who is ashamed of her position and who cannot act in front of the Lord. And the Yoga Maya is the internal energy of the Lord, which facilitates the pastimes interaction between the Lord and his devotees. So we will always be under Maya. There is no question about that. Which Maya we will be under is something we have a choice to make. So living entity is called Tathastha Shakti, the one on the marginal potency. Just like the boundary between the ocean and the land, there is a shore. The sand on the shore can be under the water and be wet, take shelter of water, or can be outside the water and be dry. Similarly, we have to be under one of the Mayas, and which one we have to choose. So if we want to surrender to Krishna, then Mahamaya will turn into Yoga Maya and take care of us. So that is explained by Lord Brahma, that who are the living entities who are influenced by this illusory potency of Lord. Everybody is under illusion. So we can see in the Mahabharata, when we see the prayers of Queen Kunti that we have read in the first canto, when we will be seeing the prayers of Uddhava in the third canto. In all these prayers, these devotees are expressing their wonder that how Supreme Lord is acting so naturally like a common person. In all the different pastimes, Leelas he does, when he was in the place of Pandavas, he was serving Pandavas like junior to Yudhishthir Maharaj. He was affectionate to the younger Pandavas. He was serving in the Rasuya Yagya ceremony that they conducted, and then he was serving and washing feet of guests. So he was doing all these common activities, and seeing him, they are just amazed at how he's acting. Like they know his Supreme Lord, but his love is so prominent that they easily get into the Yoga Maya aspect of Lord, and they start believing that he is one among them. And when Arjuna returns back after hearing that Krishna has left this world, he is also relating the similar things that when Krishna was there, he used to tell me that, Arjuna, you are so powerful, you are so great, you did wonderful today in the war. And I used to believe that. I used to say, yes, I am great. I was so foolish to just agree to those and in a way minimize the position of Lord, but he tolerated all those offenses from me. And he's just recollecting that that how Lord behaves so commonly. And when Uddhava is remembering, when Vidura will meet Uddhava in the third canto, he asks about Lord, and Uddhava is saying that how Lord behaved. He would stand in the court of Ugrasena like a common person, and he will relate different news, different things happening, and as if he is subservient to Ugrasena and a common minister in the court of Ugrasena. So seeing that, he is so bewildered that he knows on one hand he is Supreme Lord, and on the other hand he is seeing that behaving like this. Similarly, Queen Kunti, she is recollecting that Lord Krishna, he is afraid of Mother Yashoda's stick. When he is mischievous, Mother Yashoda is scolding him, and then he's afraid of her stick and crying out of fear. And that's so bewildering to Mother Yashoda, that how can Supreme Lord be so scared of somebody? On the other hand, those who are in the Mahamaya, they like Duryodhana. So when he sees Lord Krishna acting so commonly, he thinks that he is common. Shishupal, he is so envious of Lord that this is why people are giving so much respect to this cowherd boy. He is nothing special, and he is speaking in so many derogatory words and trying to insult Krishna. So these people are in the Mahamaya, and they cannot understand the glories of Lord, because what's a sign that if you have a love for the Lord, then you are in the Yogamaya. If you are envious of Lord, then you are Mahamaya. So like this, so everybody is being directed by the Maya of Lord. So there was also an episode in the Kurukshetra when after the Mahabharata war is over, Then everybody went to Kurukshetra because there was some eclipse happening. So they all went to holy place and take baths. Lord Krishna was there. Then all the sages wanted to come and take darshan of Lord Krishna. So because they know, because sages are by their austerity and by their purity, they understand Krishna is supreme. So they wanted to come and take darshan. And when they went there, Lord Krishna gave them so much respect and gave them high seat and start asking questions like a common person that we are family people, we don't understand every spiritual knowledge and please instruct us. So for a moment they got bewildered. What is happening? We came here to take darshan of Lord Krishna and now he is putting us on the high seat and asking all these questions. So this is wonderful quality of Krishna, that he likes to trick people and put them into this illusion. For the devotees it can be very enlivening, very pleasure, lot of fun, but for the non-devotees it will be bad results, like they will commit offenses and they will fall down. So let's read verse number 14, 15 and 16.
The 5 elementary ingredients of creation, the interaction thereof set up by eternal time, and the intuition or nature of the individual living beings are all differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, and in truth there is no other value in them.
15.
The Vedic literatures are made by and are meant for the Supreme Lord. The demigods are also meant for serving the Lord as parts of his body. The different planets are also meant for the sake of the Lord, and different sacrifices are performed just to please him.
16.
All different types of meditation or mysticism are means for realizing Narayana. All austerities are aimed at achieving Narayana. Culture of transcendental knowledge is for getting a glimpse of Narayana, and ultimately salvation is entering the kingdom of Narayana.
So actually I didn't pay attention that I have to read till 20 and time is also reaching, right? So we will not read 17 onward. I'll just do, so we'll just do a little comment on these 3 verses. So here Brahmaji is explaining the definition of illusion. This is also explained by Lord Krishna to Brahmaji in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which will come in the later chapters. That what is illusion? Illusion is to see all the ingredients to be disconnected from the Lord. But when we see this whole material creation, everything in connection with the Lord, that is called true knowledge. What is this, Prabhuji, on the screen? Oh, okay, wonderful. Yes. So he gives that illusion, and then Brahmaji gives this very nice verse, Narayana Paraveda, Deva Narayana Angaja, that the purpose of everything, every process is to go to Lord Narayana. And the similar verses are there in the first canto, 2nd chapter also towards the end, Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakha, right? So the word Narayana is replaced with Vasudeva, but similar verses there. So the goal of everything, somebody said, Krishna Pati, Krishna Mati, and Krishna Gati. That is a Sambandha, Videya, and Prayojan. The entire knowledge can be summarized in these 3 different concepts. So first we have to know Krishna is Pati. Krishna is our master, right? And Krishna Mati, so that's our Abhideya. Our process is to become Krishna conscious, Krishna Mati, and that what will happen? Krishna Gati. Krishna will become our destination. So this is the sum and substance of everything, and that's what Brahmaji is saying. The purpose of all the Vedic knowledge is to understand about Krishna. The purpose of all the demigods is to assist Krishna, and purpose of all the different planetary systems is eventually to transcend all of them and go back to the spiritual world, back to Godhead. And purpose of all the sacrifices to please Lord Krishna. So. And similarly, he goes on to like all the yogic processes, all the austerities, all the knowledge, and all the destinations. The goal of everything is to connect with the Krishna. So if we see the connection of Krishna everywhere, we go everything that we see, everything that we experience. If we can see the connection of Krishna behind that, that is a true knowledge. That's living in true knowledge. If we see disconnection from the Krishna, that's being an illusion. So this is the some substance. I will open, because 8:20 we are supposed to open for the questions, right? So then there were more things to be said here, but I'll open it for any questions you might have. Any discussions or comments you want to share?
Thank you for such a nice class.
Thank you.
I really liked how you were breaking down the two different types of Maya, the two different types of illusion. And I think you explained it really nicely in that the external energy, it makes you forget Krishna, and the internal energy, it can make you forget Krishna, but the internal energy, it's like, it's positive, while the external one is a negative version. So, thank you.
Very nice. Yeah, internal energy enhances the pleasure of Lord and devotees. Yes.
Just came to me. I didn't want, but thank you very much for the wonderful class. What I liked was you spoke about how Krishna is the source of the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Quoting the verse Brahmano hi pratishtaham, right? So yeah, that's nice.
Thank you. Good. Abhay?
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful class. I really liked the last one where you were saying like all austerities are for Narayan, all activities, all meditation is for Narayan, because sometimes when we are in our daily life doing Krishna consciousness, or at least attempting to dovetail everything we are doing in Krishna consciousness, we kind of get lost in this track of, am I doing this for Krishna? Am I doing it for myself? Am I doing it for the pleasure of other people, whether it's devotee or non-devotee, whatever it is. So that really reminds us that any kind of austerity, whether it's fasting, whether it's your chanting, whether it's fasting on certain days, the goal should be to serve Krishna and achieve Krishna, and not maybe to show off to others, not to just have this external exterior of like I'm doing it just to show I'm such a good devotee, but doing it to achieve Krishna always.
Wonderful. Yeah, our progress depends on pleasure of Krishna. Pleasure of Krishna depends on pleasure of Guru. And the pleasure of Guru depends on following the Guru's instructions. And that instruction may focus on any of these elements of making progress. That doesn't matter. That's secondary detail. Primary detail is following the instruction of Guru. Yes. Okay.
I had a thought and a question that I really appreciated Lord Brahma saying that Narada Muni is basically saying like, are you God? Are you like the supreme creator? Because I know that you're the oldest and I know that you've done all these things. And Brahma's like, actually there's someone greater than me. And he kind of passes the credit on, and he says that like, yeah, those who are in illusion, they think that I'm God and they worship me, but that's not actually the case. It's actually Krishna who's God. So it's a situation that we could possibly find in our day-to-day life, that we do something really nice, and then they're like, oh wow, good job, but like the process of recognizing that everything that we're able to do is coming from Krishna. I just appreciate how Brahma is able to do that. And maybe if you have any words on how we can do that.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for very, very deep insight you shared. I really like that. So this is really the art of spiritual progress, that we don't take any credit. In the spiritual world, there's a transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotees. So Lord wants to give all the credit to his devotees, and devotees want to pass on all the credit to the Lord. So that's a wonderful transcendental competition between the two. If we start taking credit, then that will become the cause of our fall down. And it will become, fall down is also a purificatory process. It will become a longer path. But if we always remain in this firm conviction that everything coming from the Lord. So true humility is not something that we artificially impose on ourselves. True humility is living in the truth. And the truth is, we are insignificant. We are insignificant, and that's our constitutional position, that we are one among many. Nityo nityanam chaitanya chaitanya eko bhunam yo vidhati kama. And Lord is a special one. So that is our position. Once we want to deviate away from that position that, oh, I am significant, then that is our material life begins from there. But once we start accepting that, oh, I am insignificant, I am one among many in the Lord's devotees, but the Lord is the one who gives importance to us, and that's His side. But our side is to not take any importance, not take any credit, and just be subservient to the Lord. And that, when we start doing that, we will experience such a deep bliss in our day-to-day life. When we become humble servant of servant, that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also telling us, teaching us, that Gopi Bhartir Pad Kamalur Das Das Dasanu Das. If once you start imbibing that mood, then Krishna releases so much spiritual bliss from within that our spiritual life becomes very easy. But if we start taking credit, oh, it's me, why people are not giving me importance, asking me, taking my permission, giving me credit, then it creates so much stress for us and for others, and the whole thing becomes very disturbing. So this is the crux. And Brahmaji, and we can see that all our acharyas, everybody is perfectly following that. Is this what you had in mind? Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. We can end here then?